Okay, test. Okay, that might have stopped my stream. Hang on. Let me just check if it's still streaming. We're still streaming. So that would be paused because of Alt tabbed. One, two, 1, 2. Okay, that might have stopped my stream. Hang on. Let me just check if it's still streaming. Okay. We're still streaming. I can hear myself now, so let's just go audio master. So that would be paused because of Alt tab. Music down. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, testing. Bear with me, just Fallout 4 and the modern computer. We'll put that up. I'm just going to put this on mute for can't hear YouTube. All right, we're back in. We'll see how we play. All right. So we're not going to play with mods. I made a skinny version of myself. Audio. Where's my voice? Let's put the voice back up to full. So I'm playing on OLED. LG OLED. X5800 X3D or 3DX or X3D or 3XD, whatever it is, and a 4070. Oh, it does open. That's right. Vault-Tec. Alright, can we shut it? Can we shut it? I don't want her to stink. I don't want her to thaw out. There we go. Alright, she's sealed. If she does rot, she's not going to be so stinky. Okay. Okay, graphically. Don't really know. I've got everything on Ultra and it's the high graphics pack as well. Back in the day. I don't think any of these open. Okay. That's right, I call myself Trev. Now let me tell you the story of Trev. Trev is a nickname. I don't know if you've ever watched any of my streams, whether I've live streamed in WoW or whatever. I'll randomly call people Trev. How you going, Trev? Because I grew up, one of my best friends growing up, his name was Trev. And I'm going to tell you a semi-interesting story. It's maybe enough to start a book, or you may not fully believe it. Now, the story starts. I'm better be careful because we'll have bugs and everything here, but we're just going to hang 10, just look around a little bit. The story starts with about Trev. Me and Trev are... Okay. I was going to say, why can't I? I can't see my chat box, so I apologise if anyone's typing or whatever. I can't see chat. Hang on, what the hell? that there? Restricted area? Let's get some stuff. Nothing in there. Now, the reason why I bring up Trev is the name of, like I said, someone I grew up with. We're talking early primary school, grades 3, 4. I think it's grade 4 onwards. So what's that? 7, 8, 9 years of age or something? Trev, I would rate Trev as one of my early mates, but it doesn't have a happy story. He might consider himself a close friend, but time has, well, let's say we moved on. But the story goes like this. So we meet, we grow up, we go to primary school together, and I do have affectionate memories of the fella, as in like mates and being first mates and all that stuff. We end up going to high school and everything together. We get to year 12, you finish. I go off and work in the mines. He goes off to study law and economics. Many years go by, and our paths cross after about 10 years for a high school reunion. I'm driving some nice cars. He's upset I'm earning double the income he is because he's a lawyer. Yada, yada, yada. Such is life. It's always about hard work, not always about just because you got a degree. And in law, but he feels that he comes across like the world should owe him an easier path because he did all the hard yakka through high school and ended up doing a degree in law that he failed the 1 year and repeated and all the rest of it. So he wasn't really the top of his class. But we're not trying to bag the bloke. The story goes like this. We catch up for a reunion 10 years after high school. And he's telling me the stories, and everything's all good. And I'm planning my first around the world trip before I get too old. I'm in my 20s or so. And so the short version of the story is I get out there, and last time I meet him is the high school reunion, and he's complaining about it's not fair that I'm making more money than him and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, that's life. You got to, keep working. And I end up running into him a couple of years later while I'm doing laps around the city exercising. He's walking home, and he's walking home to a very expensive part of the city. And I sort of say, oh, where are you going? And he's like, oh, just walking home. And I bought this nice house in this expensive part of the inner city in Brisbane, we'll make it. And so I go, oh yeah, it's the first time my bullshit detector ever breaks with this guy. And I remember going, okay, something's not right there. And a few days to 2 weeks go by. And I'm about 3 to 4 months away from my planned around the world trip where you buy a around the world ticket. It's not that expensive, but you fly in one direction, you've got a year to do it in. So I've budgeted for this, planned this, I've taken all my leave and holidays, I'm off on this great adventure. Anyway, about upwards of 2 weeks later, I get contacted by my sister in an email. And she emails me that my mate Trev has been arrested by the police back in our hometown. And, hang on, I'm just trying to remember arrested back in our hometown. And, for fraud. And I'm like, what the hell? And what happens is she ends up cutting it back in the, paper, cut out of the local paper, that it's a part of a big fraud sting. And I must have just seen him a few weeks before the noose of all the police and the fraud squads was closing in on him. And he blatantly looked me in the eye and gave me a story about being successful, making all this money, and I was like genuinely happy for him, but my bullshit detector broke, and I was like, something's not right there. And I went, I've got my own things to worry about. I wished him well, and I kept walking. I hadn't seen him for a few years, and we hadn't been close since, I guess, primary school. Here is a press clipping basically saying that my mate Trev had raced back to our hometown, which was a mining town, had changed his name somehow, and got a job at the mines power station as a labourer. and he gave his address a few houses down from where he lived. Now, it seems a bit weird. You think, why only a few houses down? I'm not sure. Maybe it's just easier to lie just a little bit. So as the fraud squad and the major police forces in Australia were closing in on him as part of a large sting, and this was all getting revealed to me, in stages, not just all at once, and didn't understand it all at the time. But they were watching a house 3 or 4 houses down from where he lived, and this was the information that was in the paper. Anyway, the cops were watching the house, and they kept noticing a guy that matched the appearance and descriptions of the person they're looking for coming out of this other house several houses up. So they ended up watching both houses, not seeing anyone coming from that house that they thought he might be at, and eventually they jumped this guy, which ended up being him, at that house and arrested him, and realised that they had uncovered him, again, somehow getting a job at the mines by changing his name and everything. I'm not sure how he's done it. He was a lawyer, and then they brought him in and started interrogating him, and he I think he got sent to Townsville, which was the major city in northern Queensland, police headquarters, jail, and then transferred down to Brisbane, then into New South Wales. But effectively what he'd done, he'd been working for some finance company, and he was a solicitor/lawyer, and he was using his, I guess, solicitor qualifications to sign off on loans and stuff on people's houses, where these people submitted documents saying they're the owner of these properties, and they would take loans out up to a certain value on these properties, unbeknownst to the owners, and it was fraud. And he was signing the documents and making it legal, like he was witnessing it and everything. And apparently he'd done that in the New South Wales Court of Law and all the rest of it. So he was wanted in Queensland, he was wanted in New South Wales, these are states of Australia. And he had it was several $1 million, and it might have been up as much as $21 million that he was a part of this organisation. Now, that's not saying he did it, and he collected X amount of dollars as a clip all the way through. He says it was only 50 grand, but who knows? So, now, that's part of the story, and there's a lot more to it, and I don't want to get into every detail because I have to reveal too much information. The next part of the story is, so I've got about 3 to 4 months to go before I go off on this around the world ticket. I booked this flight, everything's locked in for the first 6 months of this trip, and as I'm about to go, I decide one night in the Queen Street CBD, the heart of the city in Brisbane, that I'm going to go to the Irish club or Irish bar that's right near the casino in the heart of Brisbane CBD. So, and it was a Friday night or something, and I walk in, I'm 6'2" and a bit, and I walk up to the bar, and as I'm walking up, I was doing this as practice because I'm going to be travelling around the world, and I wanted to meet people, and I've got to improve my, hey, random strangers, so I thought I'm just going to walk on the bar on my own, see if I can meet people, have a conversation, have some drinks, have a laugh, and that's it. Anyway, what happens is I walk in and I see this short, very busty, curvy woman. She's at the bar. I order a pint of Guinness, and her first words to me were, "What's a guy like you doing in a place like this?" I was like, hang on, isn't that my line? And we kept talking, and she told me she earned, over 100 grand a year, and she drove a BMW and all this, and I was like, oh, well, congratulations. And I kept saying to her, you sure this is, I thought, isn't this is what I meant to say to a woman? But she kept telling me she was a lawyer and she's successful, and I was like, congratulations. And I had nothing really in common with her, but I just remembered my mate Trevor. So I just said to her, oh, the law, and I kept talking to her, and I just brought up my mate, and she started describing a guy in this conversation. And as we both started talking, we both started to look each other a bit funny, and they both at the same time said to each other, is this guy named Trevor? And I said, yes. And she said his last name, and I said, yes, that's him. That he'd gone to this uni up in North Queensland, and that she'd studied too, and that she had worked at the same law firm as him, and that when they had sentencing, you'd go in and plead guilty or not guilty, and that's all you do. He went in, and when it came time to do that, he would jump up and go, "My client is innocent, and he's not." And then the judge would just look around the courtroom and go, "What are you doing? It's either yes, no, or no plead." But he would get up and start fighting for his client like he was on Law and Order or something. So she said he was a bit wacky, and she had to take over all his cases, and basically clean up all the mess. Now I bring this up because this guy has now come back into my life another 10 years later, randomly starts texting me and calling me out of the blue, starts contacting me through LinkedIn trying to do business with me. I have a business and stuff. And I'm like, "Oh mate, we're good old friends. Out of the friendship, I don't want to do business with friends. Happy to catch up and drink." But everything about him is he's wanted to do business with me. He's changed his last name. He still has the first name. I call him by his last name because it's what we do in Australia. You know, you call each other by your last name if you know each other pretty well. And it's been going on for last 12 months or more. And now he's starting to randomly text me at midnight and 2 o'clock, and that he's suffering cancer and all the rest of it. All I can simply say is sometimes in life, friends come and go. But if you can get an interesting story out of it, more the better. Let me just see if that played all right. By his last name is because it's what we do in Australia. Okay, well, I'm talking to myself, so hopefully that's interesting. All right. So let's... Oh, okay, there's a big bug there. I think graphically this looks all right. Now, I know this game is capped at 60 FPS at maximum. And it's at 1910. Oh god, this is a game where you just take everything. Survival mode is the best because it's ridgy-dig. Did I just... I remember playing this when this is all new. Okay. And these things all, if you read them all, they all give you... Okay, that's one way to do it.
Giant roaches. What the hell?
Oh, Jesus, yeah, that's the problem. You get locked into that animation. But you want all the beer bottles you can, because then you can fill it up with water. Because that's the thing about survival mode. You've got to drink and you've got to eat, which makes the game interesting. To me, anyway. And everything's really tough. Top 10. What's this? Play tape. Oh god. The signs really stand out for some weird reason. Can't open that fridge. Yeah, I don't know, for some reason playing Starfield... And this is the reason why I wouldn't leave the vault. There's unlimited water here, and it's fresh. So I'd always try to come back to the vault. The vault, and it's got beds. And you've got unique access to it as well with your Pip-Boy. Oh, I don't have the Pip-Boy though. Okay. God, I haven't played this. I haven't played the starter game. Normally, I'll do Second Life, and I'll have a different start or something. And they'll throw me out in the woods or wilds or something, which is what I always plan to do. I like the randomness. That's why I love Skyrim. All the random encounters. Alright, so we've got pretty much everything we can do here. That's right, I don't have the Pip-Boy anymore.
Where is everyone?
Am I meant to have a gun by now? Oh, stuck on that. Was I meant to find a gun? Because I'm sure I've shot those dudes up before. Was I meant to find a gun in here? I might be overthinking it. See, I'm going on my memory. Let's just see how we go. Ah, he's the gun. Oh, that's why you want to be lucky, because then you get loot, more loot. Oh, that's right, that's open.
Nice. Come back later for you. No way I could pick this.
Okay.
Don't think I could pick this.
Right, fair enough. Yes, I think the thing with Starfield was I had no idea what anything was, because it was a futuristic thing, and whereas this is, you know, easy to go. Oh, that's cigarettes. That's something I can recognise. Okay. Oh. Okay.
Terminal campus is on.
Okay, my friend. It's there. It's a good shade. Oh god, oh there's glasses. Can I can't get into my inventory at the moment. Okay. Yes, it's all a conspiracy. Okay. Oh. That is a few boys. Well, the sounds of I haven't got my headset on. Is that more of them creeping around? Well, we've got some food to cook up. Yes, I've already hit. Just for you, I'll do it again. Okay. Looks alright. So I was right, I could hear. Might just save it. So I thought there was a thing when I sneaked. Well, that was lucky. Nice. Few rounds. Aha. So I am. Thank you. Some polluted water. So this is where we came in 200 and something years ago. Well, we don't know it's 200 years ago. Alright, let's take the rad meat. Rad meat. Okay. I've always liked this animation. Is there someone I can move this? Alright, we've got our glasses on. We've got a military haircut. I don't know what's going on there, but and we've got a power supply in here as well. So why would I've never seen it? I've got to Google it. Why would you leave the vault when the vault makes a great base?
Vault door cycling sequence initiated. Please stand back.
We've been in a vault, for love of God. Come on. Yeah, that'll do us.
Enjoy your return to the surface, and thank you for choosing Vault-Tec.
Why would you leave the vault? Well, not leave the vault, but use the vault as your base. You got free water. Let's enjoy this iconic moment. God, was this 2014, 15? Good Lord. Look at that day. Is that fog or something moving near? Here it is, wow. Now this isn't modded, so I can't remember. And this isn't, oh God, rat eye. We'll take that. Oh, that's interesting. And these crows are like, what do you call it? The vision for the, is it the Syndicate? Okay, well, we'll take that. Oh, there's a bit of, it's alright, we'll take Astray. More ammunition, we won't say no to. There's a knife there that I didn't recognise. Okay. Oh, I thought that was a bird. Looks 11 AM-ish. Okay. There's a town and everything down there, but obviously I'm here to do things differently. But that will be our first foray into Fallout 4. Just to save. I just want to make sure the streaming and the sound and all that comes out alright and it looks alright, and I've not done this. Game doesn't look too bad for an old game. Certainly not taking advantage of my 4070 and AMD 5800 X3D CPU. Anyway, that is enough for us. Quit the desktop.